Where the hell have you guys been? What's up, guys? Snake Dog. And once again, I want to apologize for not completing my Transformers vs. GoBots series.
I've said it before in a video that's now blocked, but I'll say it again here in case you didn't hear it or in case you forget. I'm out of ideas, I'm lazy, and also I'm just no longer in the mood to make anything entertaining on YouTube because people got some strange ideas for entertainment. I'm just not on the same wavelength as everybody else, so I've given it up. But if I ever do finish this thing, it's going to be forced and it's going to suck, just so you know. Right now I just want to talk about a series of videos that are out there on YouTube and the reaction that they're getting. A YouTuber by the name of Anita Sarkeesian on the channel Feminist Frequency has just started a video series called Tropes vs. Women in Video Games. In part 1 she examines the damsel in distress trope and talks about how the men are portrayed as brave and strong and they're the playable characters. Meanwhile the women are weak and helpless and they're not the playable characters. And then you got gamers coming out of the woodwork who have their own YouTube channels that are making video responses to defend their favorite video games and their characters that she's just trashed. And in my opinion, I just gotta say, both Anita and these gamers are all acting absolutely ridiculous over video game characters. Come on. These people aren't real. I mean, you got Anita who's acting like this is cause for an alarm of some kind. Like these games are teaching young girls they're weak and helpless and always need to be aided by men. And then you got the gamers who are defending their favorite characters as if she just insulted a family member. Now, even though she said a number of negative things about other damsels in distress in these video games, it's what she said about Princess Peach Toadstool that's got everybody in an uproar. Anita used her basically as the prime example. What Anita said was these damsels in distress become nothing more than just like stolen property that the heroic men have to get back. They're not even heroic men anymore. Now they're just angry men who had some other man steal what belongs to them. Hey, that's my property, give it back. She quotes someone else, and I'm paraphrasing. She says, women aren't viewed as equal competitors. Rather, they're the ball in a sporting match between men. And she uses Peach as a prime example, stating that she's never actually been a playable character in the core series. She's been a playable character in other games, but not the main Super Mario Bros. Series. Pretty much excluding Super Mario Bros. 2 for the exact same reasons that hardcore Super Mario fans don't include it in the series. It's actually a game called Doki Doki Panic that got changed into a Mario Brothers game because Nintendo was afraid that the real sequel was too difficult for Americans and that they wouldn't buy it. Now, like I said, all these gamers are coming out and making videos in defense over what she said about Princess Toadstool. They're saying Mario rescues her because he loves her, and he can't own her like a piece of property. She's her own empowered female. She's a princess who runs her own kingdom. And like I said before, most Super Mario Bros. Fans don't count Super Mario Bros. 2 anymore as an actual game from the core series. But now that a feminist insulted one of their favorite imaginary characters, they want to bring it back into this series. I heard somebody on one of the channels say exactly what defines a core series. And I'm like, oh, no. You guys are not bringing this game back into the core series over this. Now, I don't have a problem with Anita saying that these characters are portraying women in a negative light. In some ways, she's right. This is her own personal opinion, after all. I just recently bought Mortal Kombat Complete, and I'm not too crazy about the way Sonya Blade and Kitana kept getting in over their heads, and it was up to Liu Kang and Johnny Cage to save them. This is not the way I remember those characters. I do, however, have a problem with Anita making it sound as if we're using these video games as an educational tool to help teach children at a very early age their roles in society as men and women. No one's doing this. And if they are, they need to be spayed and neutered because they shouldn't be reproducing. Moms and dads out there that are listening, help me on this. Who's teaching your kids? Their video games or you? Their entertainment or you? I hope to God it's you. The only thing we're learning from these games is that some of them are fun and some of them aren't. Kids are a lot smarter than people give them credit for. They know that this princess is not the blueprint for every single female they're ever going to meet. I've dated my own Princess Peach, and I'm going to tell you, it is not fun. I've known some guys who are like this too. It doesn't matter to me if you're a guy or a girl. I've got no respect for people who keep getting themselves in trouble. Sure, it's fun in a video game when you have unlimited lives, but in real life it gets taxing. Please, men and women of all sexual preferences and all walks of life, help me out on this. Who would you rather date? Would you rather have someone who is independent and can take care of themselves, or do you want some sniveling, whiny, spineless jellyfish of a human being who can't even wipe their own ass without your help? And I've been rescuing this goofball since 1985, and this is a terrible example of a human being. Even if Princess Peach was a prince, I'd still say this is a pathetic human being who always needs help. Why would I want this? Why would I want anybody to aspire to be this? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I was lucky enough to have a bevy of strong women in my family to look up to. My mom, my grandmothers, my aunts, and all my female cousins in my family. They've all benefited from knowing these women, and they are all strong, independent females.
These ladies can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan, let me tell you.
And I try to look for their traits in other women when I go out and try to find a potential date. But I'm lucky to have had that in my family. Maybe there's still a lot of families out there that don't have strong women in their family. So I kind of see from Anita's point of view that maybe more female protagonists would be good for girls to look up to that don't have that in their family. It'd be good to have some more Sonya Blades and some more Samuses and some more Lara Crofts. But at the same time, if you're the type of person that thinks video games are a bad influence on your children, just don't buy them any. It's as simple as that. Also, where did this notion come from that you can only learn from someone who's the same gender as you are? Whatever. Anyway, I want to get back to the gamers' response videos. Oh my god. What cracks me up is that they're coming to mainly Peach's defense. Anita is not the first person to say something negative about Peach.
My friend's got a girlfriend and he hates that bitch. He tells me every day. He says, man, I really gotta lose my chick in the worst kind of way.
Where was everybody's concern when Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, listed her as one of the top 11 dumbasses in distress? No one cried foul when Seth MacFarlane made that cartoon cavalcade episode of Mario rescuing Peach. She wouldn't give him a kiss, so he turned her over to Bowser, and Bowser ate her up. Game theory even suggests that she might suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. How about that cartoon, Mad Mario, where he just pushes Bowser out of the way, doesn't even bother fighting him. He's like, get out of the way, fatso, you! What is your problem? Just starts yelling at the princess. What number is this? You think I don't have stuff to do? I'm a goddamn plumber! You get a kick out of getting captured? Gamers love that cartoon and they're all on Mario's side. That cartoon got thumbs up like crazy. That green bar just goes all the way across. No one said anything bad about that. And even amongst themselves, the gamers, when they're talking, there's a YouTube channel called Game Grumps with that guy Ego Raptor, and then there's JonTron. The two of them just talk back and forth. It's not a real like a how-to gameplay. They're just playing games and they're shooting the breeze. And while they were playing one of the Mario Party games, they joked around about how Princess Peach is always getting captured. Gamers have talked about this before. So I don't know what everybody's getting all upset over. I don't know if they're upset because she's a feminist or she's female and everybody thinks that she has no knowledge of video games. I don't know what, and I really don't care because I don't look at these video game characters as role models. But some of the things these gamers are saying in defense on Peach's behalf. Anita made it sound like it's a game that Mario is playing with Bowser and Peach is just the ball. Gamers are coming out and saying, no, Mario isn't treating her like a soccer ball. Mario rescues her because he loves her. And I'm sitting here thinking, says who? Has there been anything officially from Nintendo saying that these two are an item? I mean, other than X-rated fan art that's out there, I don't know anything that says officially that these two are in love. Even in the cartoon, they didn't act like they were much more than just really good friends. Me personally, I always saw Mario as just a hired hand, a cheap soldier that Princess Toadstool can count on. I always thought Mario was still dating Pauline from Donkey Kong. I've also heard people say in retaliation to these videos that she's a princess, an empowered female. Being a princess isn't actually being in power. She didn't actually earn that. She was born into that. That's how royalty works. At least that's how I think. I don't freaking know. This is just all make-believe. And who knows? Maybe in the Mushroom Kingdom, they really do elect kings and queens and princesses, just like the way we elect presidents. But I don't know and I don't care. Oh my god, I don't believe I'm saying this. I don't believe I have to say this. But what's really pissing me off is that gamers for years who have said that Super Mario Bros. 2 isn't a real video game. Now that Anita come out and insulted Princess Peach, an imaginary character that doesn't exist, they want to include it back into the core series. Oh no, you can't say that she was never a playable character in a core series. There's Super Mario Bros. 2. And besides, what constitutes a core series? This is where I have to draw the line, because I've always considered Super Mario Bros. 2 as one of the core series. Because now I was going to save this for a sequel for my top 10 list of things that I hate that everybody else likes. In that video, in case you haven't seen it, I listed Super Mario Bros. Part 1 as a game that I don't particularly like, only because I can't play it. I'm not saying it's a bad game, I can't play it. Super Mario Bros. 2 made me a Mario Bros. Fan. That is my favorite Super Mario Bros. Game of all time. You all could have your Super Mario Bros. 3. I thought it was a pretty good game, but nothing pulled me in and captured my imagination the way Super Mario Bros. 2 did. I love that the background characters, Toad and Princess Peach, became playable characters. I love that they have different abilities, and it controls so much better than Part 1. I love that it took place someplace else besides the Mushroom Kingdom. And it didn't bum me out when at the end it turned out to be a dream. Didn't anybody read the manual before playing the game or read the intro? It takes place in subconscious. It's a place that is accessible through dreams. Gamers right away want to write this off because at the end of the game, you see Mario asleep and dreaming all this. And they're like, oh, this is just a dream? What a cop-out. Yeah, well, if it was just a dream, then how come Shy Guys, Bob-ombs, Birdo, and Sparky, characters who made their debut appearance in Super Mario Bros. 2, keep reappearing in later games? This game has even made it on the top 10 list of bad Mario games, simply because it was all just a dream. And because it's Doki Doki Panic. Who cares about Doki Doki Panic anyway? Go ahead and look up gameplay footage on YouTube. You'll see that it is inferior compared to Super Mario Bros. 2. And now gamers want to bring it back simply because of something Anita said. Man, you guys aren't true Super Mario Bros. Fans. That's terrible. My other problem with Anita's videos is that it doesn't really inspire everybody to want to change things about video games. All it does is piss people off. It's going to piss off the feminists who are already upset about the way women are portrayed in books and TV shows and movies. And she's pissing off the gamers, both male and female, which was a huge mistake on her part. She could have easily rallied up the huge gaming community to be on her side and say, hey, look, it's time for a change. Because, for the most part, the gaming community is actually somewhat on her side. Maybe not for the same reasons, but they're there and she could have used that. Just go take a look at Game Grumps. Listen to what JonTron and Aaron have to say. JonTron says he likes the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but it's just the same game over and over again. Gamers agree, it's time for a change. And they don't have any hang-ups over what gender their character is. Eagle Raptor himself loves playing as the female hero. While playing Bayonetta, they were trying to list their favorite female heroes. And it was hard to do, because there's not a lot of them. And they want more. And even though they liked that game, Bayonetta, they said the exact same things about the game that Anita was complaining about. They said, why does her fighting moves have to be orgasmic just because she's a sexy female character? Anita actually used the word pornographic, but they're on the same wavelength. It's like, why? Kratos wouldn't do something like that. I'm sorry, I've strayed off topic. You see, Anita did a completely different standalone review of Bayonetta. She took it off her channel because she got a lot of facts wrong in that review, but it's been re-uploaded by other YouTubers that want to make fun of it. It's still somewhat on topic because it's a video game, and I wanted to bring it up because that video, plus other videos that Anita has made, shows that she definitely has a problem with overly sexualized female characters in entertainment. It's like, really, Anita? Sex appeal? That's the worst thing that's going on in this game? What about the fact that she's killing angels? Now, I'm not deeply religious, but angels are symbols of good. Now, if I were a woman, that would offend me more. Why are women always portrayed as co-conspirators of Satan? From Pandora's box to Adam and Eve. Why? It doesn't offend me to the point where I'm going to speak out against it. I simply won't buy it. I'm not buying Bayonetta for the same reason why I'm not buying God of War. I just don't want to fight symbols of good. It'd be like if you made a video game where I get to fight the Statue of Liberty, or Uncle Sam, or the Sphinx, or the Eiffel Tower. Why would I want to fight those? I like them. She also mentioned the unreleased game Dinosaur Planet for the Nintendo 64, and how it got reworked into a Star Fox title for the GameCube, and the female playable character and her brother got replaced by Star Fox, and the female character got turned into a damsel in distress. But she failed to mention two things. Number one, it was done because Nintendo thought they'd lose money releasing a new game on an old console. Number two, Star Fox fans, for the most part, didn't like Star Fox Adventures. And you could actually look up gameplay footage of Dinosaur Planet. You'll see most of the comments are positive. They're all praising this game, wishing they had it, and putting down Nintendo for ruining two games. Not mentioning the fact that this game was unpopular just makes it sound like gamers are more than happy to play a lousy video game as long as they don't have to play as a woman. And that's just bull. If your game is lousy, then the gaming community is definitely going to tell you. So, once again, for the slow people, gamers don't care what gender the character they're playing is. They just care if the game is good. And then I gotta wonder, the way Anita puts her video together, would she have even talked about Dinosaur Planet if it had actually been made for the Nintendo 64? Would she praise it for having a female playable character? Or would she put it down, saying Crystal takes a back seat to her brother? And then you got gamers complaining that, hey, she forgot Tomb Raider and the Metroid series. Those games have strong female protagonists in it. Well, of course she didn't mention them in this video because they aren't damsels in distress. Everyone's so quick to jump all over Anita for not researching everything properly. Meanwhile, people who are criticizing her aren't researching everything she does either. If they did, then they know that in the Kickstarter video where she's asking donations for this project, she plans on making more videos examining other women in video games. But if she gets up there and says sex appeal is the only reason why guys play Metroid and Tomb Raider, she's going to be making a big mistake. Because it's simply not true. All you have to do is look at video games whose only selling point is their sex appeal. These games did poorly in sales. They got bad reviews for bad gameplay mechanics, terrible stories. We're supposed to pretend that none of that exists and be like, oh, well, at least the girls are hot? No. Very, very few men buy lousy video games just because the girls are hot. Seriously, if she's going to go ahead and say that guys only play Metroid and Tomb Raider because Samus and Lara Croft are sexy, then she better do some actual research and explain why these other games have failed. I hope she proves me wrong. I hope she doesn't insult Tomb Raider and Metroid fans, making it sound like they only buy the game for the same reason as some creep would buy a Leisure Suit Larry or the Guy game, because the fans of these series deserve better than that. Because guess what? These two series are actually popular. They have a fan base, and they're fun to play, despite the fact that you play as attractive women in them. Holy crap! She's free to say that they need to tone down their sexuality, but if she ever gets around to talking about positive female role models in video games, fans of these series are going to get insulted if she doesn't add them to that list, and she's going to get a lot more backlash because of it. And just what is Anita's end goal anyway? To get more women into playing video games? Does she honestly think that more female protagonists is the answer? Look at the online phenomenon, My Little Pony. That cartoon was made for little girls. Now, did girls become fans of this cartoon? No, because they aren't antisocial hermits like us guys can be. Most girls are too busy out making friends or hanging with their families. Older girls use the computer to chat or research a project that they're working on. They're not wasting their time with some silly little cartoon. So who wound up becoming fans of My Little Pony? Grown men who sit and watch videos for hours on end online. So that's my prediction. Once the gaming industry starts making more and more positive female role models in video games, mostly guys are going to be fans of these games, because it's still mostly guys that play video games. And we could discuss why that is until the end of time. You could say women are discouraged from playing video games because of the negative female stereotypes that are out there. That's why mostly guys play them. I would have to respond by asking, where were these gamer girls when video games first got started and they were completely genderless? A man or a woman could have been controlling these vehicles. Where were you gamer girls back then? The only two women that I knew that played video games back then was my mom and my cousin. Every other female I knew hated video games. Now, if women were on board back then playing games, there'd be more games made today that would appeal to them. But most of them were made to appeal to guys, because that's just where guys go. That's like saying men's urinals are sexist. They're not sexist, they're just built for guys. That'd be like if we lived in a world where mostly men sang songs and mostly men listened to songs, and turning around and saying every single song out there made by men is sexist. Yes, there are songs and music videos out there that are sexist, but come on, not every song that men sing about women are sexist. So the song I Would Walk 1,000 Miles is sexist because it's a song about a man going on a journey to prove his love to a woman. Oh, that's so sexist. Yeah, he sees her as his property, so he has to go get her. Are you serious? But luckily, we live in a world where both genders sing and both genders enjoy listening to music, so there's music out there for both to enjoy. The problem here isn't that video games are sexist. It's that there aren't a whole lot of female programmers making video games that appeal to women. Being a woman's hero isn't sexist. It's just male fantasy bullcrap. And maybe that's why these games don't appeal to you, Anita. Maybe you're a heterosexual woman and you want to be a guy's hero. You want to save him from his inner demons. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But that's why we play these games, because it's a fantasy world where we're guitar heroes, criminal masterminds, rich beyond our wildest dreams, and sexy. All kinds of sexy. What do you want us to do, start playing video games that are more like real life? That sounds boring. I'm already living real life. When I play a video game, I want to do stuff that I wouldn't do, stuff that I can't do. In real life, I wouldn't do any of the things that Mario does. Are you kidding me? What human being in their right mind would, man or woman? All that plumber gets is a kiss at the end. And even if we got more than just a kiss, you know what I would say? I would say just like what Han Solo says, no reward is worth this. My video game would be the worst in the world. Nobody would want to play it because there'd be only one button, the 911 button. Uh-oh, girlfriend kidnapped by a gorilla? 911. Uh-oh, girlfriend kidnapped by gang members? 911. Try selling that game on the market. See how much money you get. Wow, I can go on and on about this subject, but I think I'll end it here for now. I just think it's silly that gamers got so angry over what she said, especially since the things that she said are things that have been said before by others, and nobody got mad back then. But Anita is the first person that I can remember saying she's tired of it. I just don't like the way Anita presents her case. Fans of hers who might not be into video games might come away with thinking, after listening to her rant, that there's a psychological warfare going on here that's deliberately keeping women out of gaming to the point where there are no women in gaming, and guys don't think of women when making video games. And that's just a load of crap. Yes, I've said a number of times in this video that mostly men play these video games, mostly men make video games for other guys to play, but you'd be a complete idiot in any business if you didn't think of how to get both men and women to spend money on your product. Pac-Man was designed to appeal to women. And that spawned Ms. Pac-Man, the first female protagonist in a video game that I can think of. Some of the best classic games have been designed by women. Centipede, River Raid, Spider-Man, Warlords, King's Quest, and the Gabriel Knight series. Why aren't we talking about those women? Anita and the gamers would rather whine about these imaginary powder puffs. She also makes it sound like the gamers and the industry itself is unwilling to change. And that's a load of bull, too. The industry is changing, and it's already one step ahead of you. The Nintendo Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS allows you to make your own avatar, and you could use those avatars in some of their games. And then there are games where you can choose to be either male or female, and then there's games that have been around for years where you can design your own character. In those games, you aren't restricted to what gender you can play or race. They don't even have to be human. Your character could be as ugly as you want or as sexy as you want. There ain't a damn thing anybody can do about it. Lastly, I don't get this whole psychiatrist or psychologist-backed idea that you have to have someone of the same gender teach you how to be a good person. If we truly are all equal, then it shouldn't matter what gender you are, what race you are, or what your background is. As long as you're a good person, that makes you a good role model to anyone. My mom has been separated from my dad since I could remember. My grandfather was always busy, so it was my mom and my grandmother who raised me. My mom worked all her life, so I know through her that having a job is important. So during my high school years, I actually got a part-time job. And ever since then, ever since graduating, I've been working. Even went to college too, because I had a good role model who just happened to be the opposite of my gender. Can you imagine what an obnoxious, ungrateful jerk I'd be? Or what an obnoxious jerk any man would be if they refused to get a job because they thought it was too girly?
Yeah, my mom says I should get a job, but I'm not gonna do that because that's for girls.
Give me a fucking break.